Hey, what's up guys? It's Matt here again. Another perfume video. This time I'm going to talk about the final Balchaud scent, which I mentioned in the first video. This is the Iris scent. It was one of the soaps. Like I said, the soaps, you had 3 scents in the soaps. There was a grapefruit and a rose scent, which ended up getting released as perfumes. But there was a 3rd scent based on Iris, which I thought was very, very good smelling based on what I could get from the soap. Here it is. Here's the Iris soap. A really, really lovely smell. So today I'm going to be sampling this one and just have a bit of a discussion about Iris in general, because Iris is a note for me which is a bit of a love-hate thing. Some of the interpretations of Iris in perfumes I don't really enjoy. I guess starting at the top, the Dior line, the Dior Homme line, we've got the sort of lipsticky, waxy Iris in those scents. Now, they are not my favourite scents. I do appreciate they're very, very high quality. They smell refined. For a designer line particularly, they're super impressive, but they've never really connected with me, if you know what I mean. And obviously we've got the original, and you know, there's all sorts of things around the reformulations and versions of that. But broadly speaking, we have the original Dior Homme, we have Dior Homme Intense, we have Dior Homme Parfum, and we have Dior Homme Eau as well, which is probably closer to the sort of irises that I get along with. I like my irises to be a little on the lighter side, not too waxy. It does lend a nice sort of touch in the middle of scents. And my favourite scent, which I'm going to bring up again, has a prominent iris, I would say, and it's very key to how that scent smells. So yeah, you know, like I said, the Dior line, not really my thing. I have sampled quite a few irises over the years in a search to find, you know, the ultimate iris, or the iris that I'm going to love the most. What have we had? We've had Zegna, the House of Zegna, do some very nice interpretations of iris. They've got their, what's that one called? Is it Florentine Iris? They have a sort of a higher line, and they have an iris in that, which is very, very beautiful. The only thing is, it's a little bit on the feminine side, a little bit soapy smelling. Obviously, irises can go in the soapy direction. The Zegna iris is very beautiful, but I do think it's too feminine for me. So that one's a no. They do have an iris in the sort of, there's an aqua line. That iris isn't quite as feminine, and it's a very beautiful iris that Zegna use. But that one is a little bit synthetic. The base of that one's not impressive. It's quite scratchy, quite, it's not very refined. So what I'm saying is, to do a good iris, you have to have iris in there in a sort of an overall refined composition to make it really work for me. And it can't be too soapy, and it can't be too waxy or lipsticky. It's a very fine line to sort of tread with iris, I find. And I think a lot of people that I've spoke to have similar feelings about iris. They, especially the ones that don't like the lipstick iris, you know, they're probably not going to like iris scents in general. But I do love the note. I think it's a great smell. It's a very sort of, what I would describe as an ethereal smell. When you get a sort of like a good experience of it, it's very uplifting, it's very refreshing. You know, it's a beautiful material. So there is something to it, basically, is what I'm saying. So the Balchaud iris was called Mauve. Here's the soap. I had good experience. I used the bar of this soap when I used the initial set of soaps, and beautiful smell. This iris, on sort of first impression, was, it seemed to have everything that you'd want in a just an iris scent. You know, not a scent that's got lots of other notes, but a scent that's focusing on iris. This seemed to have everything. It seemed to be sort of light, had a bit of earthiness to it. It had a sort of there's a slight leathery touch. It just seemed to be a very well balanced iris. It seemed to be very, very beautiful. You know, typical of Jean-Christophe. This was a beautiful composition, and I think he's done some other iris scents. He's got a new one out, a Courage's one. I think it's Hyper Iris. He's just come out with. I haven't got to smell that yet, but I have a feeling that's going to be a stronger iris. That might not be quite to the same level of refinement as this one. This one just smells very clean and luxurious. Really, really beautiful smell. So I was really, really eager to, to see if I could smell, or to first of all to get the perfume. But if the perfume was going to be about, I was sort of begging for a sample. So please, can I have a sample if you've got any spare from when they were trialing the scents initially, to see if I could get my nose on it. And they came through. They hooked me up a sample. So thank you very much again, guys, for hooking me up. They sent me some samples along with the latest package that I got. So yeah, we've got a little sample of it. So today I'm going to give this a spray, tell you what I get from it best I can, and yeah, we'll just have a little discussion about Iris. So before I get into this one, I will just quickly gloss over some more irises just so we have some context. So I spoke about a couple. We got Prada L'Homme. That's another one that gets brought up a lot. Prada L'Homme. It's decent. It's good. My thoughts on Prada L'Homme are it's very inoffensive, but it's nothing special. I don't think it smells particularly expensive or refined. I just think it smells good, I guess. It's good. It's good. For most people, that's about, that's going to be how they enjoy their iris. They're going to want it in a sort of a non-offensive composition. It's not too soapy. It's not too much of anything. I guess it's a little bit soapy, but it's not really all that special, to be honest. It's pleasant, I guess, is the best I could say, but hopefully we're looking for the most refined things out there. So straight into my favourite scent, Millesime Imperial. Now, if you look at Millesime Imperial's note breakdown, you'll find it has iris in the mid note. Iris is a very important part of this smell, this composition. Obviously, you've got the citruses and the sort of fruity vibe and the ambergris thing, but if you take those parts of the scent out, it really, that sort of refined, elegant feel you get to it, the iris is very much a key component, I think, for Millesime Imperial. So Millesime Imperial, you're not going to get a better scent than this, that's utilising iris. This is kind of, this is it. This is the, I've said before, this is my favourite fragrance. Like, I'm not just saying my favourite iris, favourite fresh. This is my favourite fragrance. I really, really love this stuff. This is special, elegant. It's just the most beautiful thing you can imagine for me. So Millesime Imperial, we're not going to get better than this, but it's just an example of how an iris note is being utilised, very, very sort of expertly. So we've got Millesime Imperial. Another one, this one's a little bit rare now because it's discontinued. Ferre Femen from 2000, I think it's from 2006. It's by Pierre Bourdon again. So Millesime Imperial, bit of a connection there. This one is a very sort of light iris. I wouldn't say iris is necessarily the keynote in here, but it's very much sort of detectable. It's got some sort of oak moss, and it's actually got pineapple in the opening. So basically, this one gets compared to Dior Homme Eau a little bit, but kind of like with pineapple. So you could compare, and it came, I think it came out about the same time as the Dior Homme line launched. So it's a very early example of iris in a sort of a men's perfume done in a way that it's not, feminine or excessively like lipsticky. This one, super beautiful, very, very wearable. Again, the master Bourdon, he's hitting you with an iris that's very underrated. So I don't think people are really checking for this one, but this is probably better than well, for me, it's better than the Dior line. The Dior line, when it comes to an iris, it's really beautiful. I could wear this one anytime, basically. And this one is a little more on the, like, I guess the violety, like lipsticky vibe. This one's a little more dense. I'll show you this one. It's called Just Roulette. The house is Len. This is niche. This is rather expensive. I think it's got a high oil concentration. It's very strong. It does have a little bit of that, like I said, that waxy, lipsticky thing, but it doesn't smell cheap. It smells very natural, very high end, and it wears excellently. It's not feminine. Whereas I would say the Zegna I mentioned that has the iris has a better smelling iris than this. It has a really amazing iris, but the wearing of that is just excessively soapy and feminine for me. This one, when you put it on skin, actually wears all the way through. It's very good. Like the base is not, you know, it has a nice sort of masculine base. It has a nice vibrancy in the top as well. It's an example of like a lipsticky iris done to a level that's like, you know, it basically it just works. It's really, really nice, this one. This was around the time I was looking for like a you know, holy grail iris scent, and this one was worth, you know, it was worth picking up and keeping. It's very, very beautiful. But you've got to be in the mood for iris for this one. It's really like, you know, it's really kind of to the sort of to the front. So we got that one, and now we've got it's called Mauve, but I'm not going to say when, because we want it to be released. Hopefully this one will be launched this year. Balchaud, please release it ASAP. Release it tomorrow. This one might have a name change, so it might not be called Mauve, but at the moment it's, you know, it's just, we're going to call it Mauve because the name of the soaps and stuff. I will read you a little bit of information about it, and then I'll talk about the smell. So yeah, Jean-Christophe Hérault. It's a fragrant marvel, meticulously crafted for aficionados of sophisticated and elegant scents. This olfactory gem unfolds an enchanting narrative of lush, deep forests of vetiver, orris, freesia, and bergamot. Mauve is a fragrance that harmoniously marries the depth of wood and botanic roots with the grace of florals. It's quite a nice blurb there, but I'll just read the notes for you. So the top notes, you've got bergamot, freesia, violet leaf. The middle, orris, which is obviously your iris, you call it the keynote. Saffiano. Saffiano is the leather note here. Sort of a certain sort of leather, sort of like, you can Google that, but it's basically it's just a leather note. It's this particular sort of leather that's like treated and stuff. And then the base notes, vetiver, amber, and symphonite. So we got the symphonite again, which we've come across in some of Jean-Christophe's latest works. The sort of musky IFF captive molecule. Okay, so we're going to give this a spray. I'll tell you what I get. I've obviously already smelled this. This is not a first impression. Just smelling the sort of cap for it, you get this really like sweet, creamy iris from the cap. And I'm just mentioning this because the soap that I had, the iris soap, as amazing as it smelled, it didn't quite have that same sweetness. You know, how can you give a soap a top note? I mean, the soap is amazing. This is an amazing smelling bar of soap, but you can't always have 100% of a fragrance translated to a soap. And they've done their best to translate the fragrances to soap. In fact, an amazing job. They've done a really good job at representing the fragrances in the soaps. But I would say of the three soaps, this one is maybe the one that struggles to capture the full what you get from the perfume, because the rose and the grapefruit ones, I didn't really find there was too much going on in the perfumes, which I couldn't pick up on the soap. But this one, like I said, this top note that I'm getting from this, it's just the most, yeah, there's this like sweetness to it that's just really, really beautiful. So I'm going to spray it on, tell you what I get off the top. But yeah, it's just, yeah, this is an iris for the ages. This is some really gorgeous stuff. So let's give it a spray. Couple of sprays. And yeah, it's really, it's off the top. The leather note, yeah, so first of all, you get that sweetness I was describing, the sweet sort of top note, which I guess is the floral component with the bergamot. And then it's straight into like this leather note. But it's not a particularly strong leather note. It's a very soft leather note, this Saffiano, what's sort of described as. So you've got a soft leather note underneath a sweet sort of sparkling top note. And then there's sort of an earthiness coming in from the vetiver and the bass notes, but the overall tone is the iris. Obviously, this is a scent that's about iris or orris or whatever you want to call it. That's the overall tone of this, and it's in perfect. It really is in perfect balance with the other notes. It's very much, this is an iris scent, and then the rest is built around it, and the iris smells absolutely beautiful. And it's such a beautiful iris. The iris in this scent. I'm going to spray it again. The only downside to this fragrance is it is relatively soft. It is kind of, I'll tell you what, I'm going to give it. Yeah, it's very refreshing. But it is, yeah, very elegant. I mean, the way the leather note works with the iris and the sort of and the floral bit at the top, it's yeah, it's very, this is a very, very elegant iris, very, very unisex, but in a way where I'm not saying unisex leaning feminine. This is truly unisex. It has this sort of creaminess. Once the leather bit sort of calms down a bit and the iris starts to, show itself more, it's just this beautiful, creamy, sweet expression of iris, which is very, very delicate. It's very, very, this is a very, very refined scent. It's very calming as well. It's kind of scent that, like, I've only got like a little sample and then another, so I'm going to try and make this last as long as possible. But this is something that I would literally, like, I would shower in this stuff. It's so good. So hopefully we can pick this one up. It gets a launch and we can pick this up, because it is absolutely stunning. As much as I've waxed on about the other Balchaud scents, the Amour Citron and Mango Cur, in their own way, they're impressive scents. But if I had to choose one, which, is me, like, I think, and this is very much a personal thing, but coming from someone who, Millesime Imperial is sort of my favourite thing. This one is me. Is all of, yeah. This one suits me the most. I'm really, like, big into these scents which have this, what I would call, ethereal thing going on, where they're bright and delicate, I guess, words to describe. Bright, delicate, well balanced. They're not loud, like the likes of Bergamot 22, Millesime Imperial. They're the kind of scents that I really gravitate towards personally. This one is an absolutely gorgeous iris. This is easily the best, like, iris scent that I've smelt, which is mostly based around iris. I say that because obviously Millesime Imperial, we're going to say this, if we include scents that just include an iris note, Millesime Imperial would be, numero uno. But for a scent that is very much a showcase of iris, and Jean-Christophe, I believe, said this is like a tribute to iris, this scent. This is just a remarkably pleasant smell. The only thing is, people who enjoy this, it's not going to be for beast mode people. It's not going to be honest, it's not probably going to be for most people. You've got to love iris to enjoy this. And then beyond that, you've got to not mind a scent which doesn't scream, because it's not that sort of scent. This is a soft scent. It stays fairly close to skin. I'm not saying this is absolutely sort of like water weak. This is still, EDP. It's still, going to persist. It's just, it's not, it's not a shouty fragrance. It's a soft fragrance. It's for personal enjoyment. And god damn, it's like, when I say enjoyment, I really enjoy the smell. This is such a good smell. This really is such an amazing smell. It's one of the best smells that I've come across in perfumery. Like, and that's having smelled quite a few things over the years. The way Jean-Christophe has sort of refined this this iris note here is nothing short of remarkable. This is personal. The average like per fragrance head is probably going to smell this and think, what this is just, can't even smell it. It's just it's just average. It's just some weak iris thing. But to my nose, this is remarkable. This is really a masterful piece of work, a beautiful smell, a refined smell. I'm just upset. I've got I think a 5ml and another little sample of it. This is all I've got, and until the fragrance gets on, I've got a few of the soaps, so we can use the soaps. But like I said, this sort of slightly sweet, creamy top note, I didn't fully get that from the soap. The soap went a little bit went more into the base notes, which is not surprising. But yeah, this top note was very hard to bring out in the soap, I think. But yeah, very beautiful smell. A very well done leather note as well. The way Jean-Christophe's used the leather or the Saffiano note with the iris, it's not like, it's not sort of crowding it out. It's just done in a way where I feel like it's avoiding the soapy it's avoiding the soapy tropes with iris, and it's avoiding the it's certainly avoiding the lipstick tropes as well. It's right in the middle. It's kind of going off on its own direction, but a very, very kind of beautiful one. And like I said, the kind of irises I like do go slightly in their own direction. Millésime Imperial's iris is not your typical iris the way it's used. And then the Ferré Femelle as well is a really good one. Like, this is low key. If you can get this, if you like iris and you haven't smelt this, Pierre Bourdon at its best, really. It's got a pineapple note way before Aventus as well. So this was around the time he was starting to use pineapple notes. So really he is the originator of the pineapple note. Obviously it's not like the Aventus pineapple note, but it's like a nice juicy sort of addition to the top in this. It's really pleasant. In fact, I'm going to spray this. Why not? I'm going to spray this one. There we go. Yeah, beautiful smell, beautiful top note. Has this like watery, refreshing vibe to it. Yeah, I've smelled plenty of Pierre Bourdon things to know this sort of juicy accord that he sort of uses and through a lot of his scents. Yeah, it smells very juicy and refreshing, and then it does mellow out a bit more into the iris and the oak moss as well. But yeah, very refined smell, very beautiful smell, but it's about more than the iris, whereas this one is like much more unisex and much more just about the iris, basically. Yeah. So yeah, Balchaud's Mauve. I guess we're going to call it Mauve. Super hyped for this. This is one of the best perfumes I've ever smelled. I'm not trying to hype it up because, like I said, this is niche. This is not for everybody. You've got to like iris. You've got to like sort of soft, refined scents, skin scents even, to enjoy this. But if you're anything like me, you've got a nose that doesn't want the lipsticky irises, doesn't want the excessively soapy irises. This is this is Jean-Christophe genius at work. This is amazing. So let's hope we can get a bottle of this sometime soon, because I can't wait. I think this is an amazing smell. It's the kind of thing I would go heavy on sprays and just walk out and just feel like I'm in heaven, basically. That's the experience this gives me. This is a heavenly smell. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah. And that's why I'm into perfume. This sort of thing is why I'm into perfume, because of these sort of smells, the way they sort of they're just otherworldly. They're just so beautiful to sort of sniff and experience on yourself, relaxing, calming, all the good stuff. But this is the best of the best of the best. So beautiful stuff. I'm going to leave you there. Hopefully that was illuminating in some way. My discussion on iris. Maybe I'm not, I'm not your typical person who enjoys iris scents. Like I said, the Dior line doesn't do too much for me. I don't like most of the sort of, you know, uses of iris in perfumes. They're a little bit sort of in one direction, but this one is perfectly balanced. Yeah, absolutely love it. So let's hope we can get that one soon. And yeah, we'll see you on the next one.